So this is kind of the second part of my KS Lev video. On the first one I was doing the maintenance, and a common problem seems to be, from what I've read, that if you over tighten this part, the mast end sleeve, it's very easy to break the tip, and that's exactly what happened to me. And I can tell you, I barely torqued that at all. I barely moved that past hand tight and it just came right off. And I attribute that to probably just metal fatigue. There's an aluminum part. So I ordered the part. It's arriving today. I decided to go ahead and take this one apart because the replacement part does not bring the internals. It doesn't bring all these parts. It's going to be just the black piece, and it actually includes the little push rod cap there. So it has the push rod cap and the black piece. So to do this, you're going to need a 2mm Allen wrench or hex key for these bolts, and then there's a little one there that's a 1.5mm. So you have 1, 2, and in here there's another one, 3 2mm and 1.5mm. So this bottom one's going to hold that spring. This one is for the pivot here, and then this one is for that little cap right there. Now that small one, the 1.5, is just a screw that is going to tighten on to the end of your cable guide and kind of hold it in place there. Alright, so right there you go. The bottom one that holds the spring, and that's a 2mm. As we take that out, the spring's not really under tension, so it just comes right out right there, and your pivot is going to come out next. And then we just pull that out. Spring, we'll leave the spring hooked to it. And then the last thing is the screw for that last little pivot on top. And the grease and grit kind of made it a little hard to get out, but it came out. Now we can take this out of there, and then it's just a matter of transferring all this to the other one. Note that there's the position, there's like a little, it's like a little cam there that's going to go towards the nipple, so it's going to go like that towards the top of the post. Now here we have the new piece. It has this little, like almost like a little brass filter there that the other one doesn't have. That doesn't affect function in any way. They are the exact same dimensions, and it actually has the little nipple unbroken, which is what I need. Comes with a new little push rod part there, end cap. And the other one doesn't have that little filter there or whatever. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is, but this is kind of the part number there. I'm going to take a little shrimp butter, not too much, and I'm going to put it on the friction surfaces there. So there's one there. I'm going to put some on the end of the little end cap. I'm going to put a little bit here. You can see the friction point where it's a little worn from use. So I'm gonna put a nice little coat of grease right there. And I'm also gonna give the little pivot bolts a light coat of grease also. And now we're gonna just put all this together back in the reverse order. The first thing I'm gonna put up is this little cam here. And remember, the flat side goes down and the little cam there goes up towards the post. That's where the little cap that goes in there is going to push on it. Flat side towards the cable, cam up. I'm going to slide it in there. And make sure it stays in there. It's hard to do it to show the camera and do it right at the same time, but anyways, we're going to position it right there. So we're going to take this guy. All right, make sure that it is hooked up in the cam, and then just tighten it up. Next thing we're going to do is install this little guy. This is where the cable is going to catch, the end of the cable. And then we'll put the spring hooked up to the bottom. All right, so let's get this guy up here. Kind of put it through here. Put a little grease in there, maybe a little too much grease. All right, there we go. So now we have that doing there. Now we just put the bottom one for the spring. So I got to make sure that the spring is set down there, and we're just going to catch it in there. Lighting's a little bad, so. All right, so we caught the bottom of the spring there, and just tighten it in. Okay, just like the part I broke, don't tighten these too much. And last, don't forget that 1.5 there at the bottom. And you just want to pretend that I look through there, make sure it's not going into there, because if not, my cable housing is not going to go in there if the bolt is protruding into there. You tighten that after you have your cable housing in there, and it's set. Now this time I'm just gonna hand tighten this on here. Okay, so I'm gonna take my push rod, short end in first. I'm gonna take the new end cap with a little bit of grease on the tip and put it there. I'm gonna put that through here, hand tighten it, and this time I'm just gonna hand tighten it. All right, and I'm gonna put a little bit of Loctite here and then thread that into the tube. Make sure you use the removable Loctite, not the permanent high strength stuff. Not if you ever have to do this again, it will not come out. All right, we'll install it on the bike and see if it works. To install it back, I'm going to go ahead and use some Parks Tool Super Grip assembly compound. So it's like a grease, so it'll protect it, but it's a little gritty, because if not, it'll just kind of keep slipping, and you don't want to have to tighten your collar here too much. So this is going to help lube, protect, keep it from creaking, and at the same time give it a little grip. All right, so now it's installed, and let's see how it works. All right, so let's try that again. Down, nice and smooth. Up, oh yeah, locked, very smooth. And side to side play is pretty much gone. It had a lot of play before. What I did is when I reinstalled it, I actually, if you look, like insert here used to go in the back, now it's on the side. So I rotated it 90 degrees, and so the worn parts are not being used anymore, and it has very minimal side to side. It had a lot of side to side before. So I did order a new since this one's already old and it was kind of beat up, I went ahead and ordered a new 1-up V2 with a wolf tooth lever. So I'm hoping soon I'll make a video on that one. It should arrive this weekend, and I'll probably go ahead and try to put this one on my Venso. So if you want to see an aluminum frame drilled for interior post routing, I might just go ahead and do that and sacrifice that frame. Not really sacrifice it. Should be fine after a small hole in there. I hope. So thanks for watching, and give it a thumbs up.